Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for October 27th through October 31st, 2025. Apparently, nobody was upset about the fact that Maxie was in a coma on her birthday, but we can get to that one. We do have a few Port Charles pipelines. So first, on this past week's 411, we were listening to the story of Melanie telling us the story of Blackie and Lou. And I was watching a few of the clips on YouTube. The name of the girl who was killed, her name was Jody. Her name is Jody Barrett.
Oh.
Could not find anywhere if she's related.
Huh. You know what? We complain about them reusing the same first name, but they need to stop reusing the same last name too.
Especially something like that. Like Smith, okay, we're not going to automatically go to Frank Smith, even though we should. But Barrett, yeah.
That's a unique last name, yes.
Yes. And then some sad news. June Lockhart, she played Felicia's grandmother, Mariah Ramirez, passed away at 100 years old, which is just amazing.
I was going to say, I know you can't really be like upset somebody makes it to 100, like how much longer did you want them to live? But I just loved Felicia's grandma.
Well, I mean, Rachel Ames is getting up there. She's 95.
Oh my goodness.
She'll be 96 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Rachel Ames.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine living to 96.
No.
That's awesome.
And then Carolyn Hennessy is also in Dawson's Creek.
Yes.
Okay. For those just tuning in, I just started watching Dawson's Creek for the first time in my life. And I've been told that there's somebody else. Don't tell me who, but I've been told that there is somebody else that winds up being from GH on the show. So excited to learn about that. What else? Okay. So this actually ties into, I saw it on General Hospital's Instagram, like General Hospital ABC's Instagram.
Did you watch Gilmore Girls? Yeah. The social worker that Tony goes to report Jason to is Lane's mom.
Aww.
When I was rewatching the other day, I meant to ask you I couldn't remember if you were a Gilmore Girl lover or not.
So the first time I watched it, I was. The second time, I was like, man, Rory's a pain.
It is funny rewatching stuff.
Anyway, I'm going to General Hospital. Hold on. Going to their Instagram because they posted a photo of Cody and Ronnie, except for the caption says, Cutter and Victoria were never this friendly. So when Ronnie was referring to, I've always had a thing for cowboys, because I went into the comments and I'm like, okay, what the heck does this mean? And the very first comment says, but she's always had a thing for cowboys. And then I know that was a great line, Clint Buchanan. So it was referencing.
Oh my God. Yes, that completely went over my head.
So you didn't pick up on it. I would not have known that.
You would not have known it. But oh my gosh, that was so good. And that falls in line with this week was so good with the One Life Earth to Live references.
Then I made a note of that, like on my notes. And then we had Debbie write in, I'm a lifelong fan of soaps, especially GH, and listen to your podcast every week. Thanks, Debbie. I wanted to mention that even though it might have been inappropriate, Ronnie saying to Cody that she's always loved cowboys was a nod to her character, Vicky, on One Life to Live, because she married a cowboy, Clint Buchanan. Yes. Thanks for the podcast. Best, Debbie. So thank you so much, Debbie, first for listening. And secondly, for the very kind way of letting us know.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie, for not saying, how did Amanda not realize this? Because I absolutely, wore the cowboy hat all the time, type cowboy.
Okay.
Cannot believe I did not think of that. So,
yep. So totally makes sense. As soon as I read that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, 100%.
But then, so I didn't know, I know the name. Mm-hmm. And obviously, given her age, I don't feel like Josh Kelly would have played the character because of how long One Life to Live's been off. I mean, you never know. They hook people up of all different age ranges. But I'm like, I don't feel like with how long the show's been off the air, Josh Kelly would have been a romantic interest for her. And he was not.
Right.
But I guess they were. So who was Cutter?
I don't know who Cutter was.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's go to Google. Cutter, One Life, Two Lives. Cutter Wentworth. He was the son of Alex Olenov. His storyline involved his relationship with Aubrey Wentworth, his past as a con artist, and his eventual marriage to Jessica Buchanan.
Oh, okay. So Jessica would have been Vicky's daughter. So that would be why she didn't like him if he was a con artist marrying her daughter.
Okay. His storylines were he arrived in Landview as a con artist, quickly becoming involved with Aubrey Wentworth. But his last name is Wentworth. Did they get married? And they're just referencing, but I feel like if you're saying they got involved, you use the former name.
That's what I would think.
Okay. He was married to Jessica Buchanan in 2011, and his past involved running away from foster care and becoming a con artist with his sister to regain wealth.
In 2011?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I wasn't watching then. At that point, life was too crazy. I had to just pick one. Stuck with GH.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm really confused by this. Romances, Aubrey Wentworth, but she doesn't have a page. She was also portrayed by Amanda Setton.
Oh.
Look at all this. Hold it. So when they have Cody and Brooklyn talking, were they the couple that was together on One Life to Live?
I don't think so.
And Josh Kelly, couple on One Life to Live. Oh, they were brother and sister.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So wait. Okay, I'm not going down this because this says romances, Aubrey Wentworth. And then when I go to search it, it says that she was a character, but she was also played by Amanda Setton in a recurring role. But then, okay, hold on. Yeah, Amanda was 2009 to 2010 and then 2011 to 2012. But now it says, I'm so confused because it says Aubrey Wentworth, but then it says brother is Cutter. But then under his, it says romantic interest was Aubrey Wentworth. Okay, guys, I'm confused, and we've spent way too much time on One Life to Live. But that would be a fun 411 is who were characters in a relationship, like on another show. But like now they're on as like brother and sister or mother and son. But they were in a romantic relationship on another show. That'd be fun.
It would be fun. It would get confusing. Just like we are confused now.
If you know people that are on General Hospital now and their characters on other shows were like completely off, because it sounds like Cody is very similar to this Cutter, like came into town as a con artist, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have Kimberly. Hey, ladies, subject is Martin's phone and Nathan's comment. Hey, ladies, pretty sure that the phone Martin found was either Martin's or just a phone he got out of a lost and found. He needed an excuse to get into the tea party and put something in Ronnie's drink. We way overanalyzed that.
Oh, we did way overanalyze that. Yeah.
But you would have been, your thought of the twinkle twinkle was on point.
I'm still holding out hope for that.
And then on the Charlotte and Rocco meeting Nathan issue, I think it was meant like he hadn't met teenage Rocco and Charlotte, who would seem like complete strangers to someone who had been gone since they were little kids. They should have been more clear because it has really freaked out a lot of fans. Maybe I'm giving the writers too much credit, but that was my interpretation. Keep up the great work. You make my Mondays brighter.
Aww. You guys are so nice to us.
What about Thursday? No. Not saying that we have to make two of your days brighter, but thank you. I want to give, because remember, I kind of said the same thing. And I was like, or did they just mean like he hasn't seen her yet? Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, he did. I mean, I watched and read the closed captions. I think that they forgot. I think they forgot that when we got Charlotte, we were under the assumption that she was actually Nathan's child. Mm-hmm. I agree. It would have been... The way that they could have very easily made it more clear was even just saying, I haven't seen Charlotte yet, not I haven't met Charlotte.
Right. I would have been totally fine with that one.
Or even something like, man, Charlotte must be so big now. I haven't seen her yet. You know, something. I can't wait for the scene because we didn't have it this week where Charlotte and Nathan are together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yep.
But so those are the Port Charles 411s. Yep, that's it. On this upcoming Port Charles, I'm sorry, that was the Port Charles pipeline. On this coming Port Charles 411, we are getting back into Bobby. What number did you say? 9?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm almost positive.
So Bobby part 9. We're picking up in 1998. Do you know that you went away?
Yeah, I was sending you a picture so you could see Ronnie and Brennan back whenever they were on One Life to Live.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Let's do the Hulu headlines because I actually did. Okay, there was no way. All right, we'll just talk about it real quick because you sent the picture. The second she walked in and said, Joey, I was like, okay, that has to be.
Yes.
Something like that has to be a reference. But at the same time, as someone who did not know that, my first instinct was we're finding out more about Brennan's past because we feel like he had to give up his family, right?
Right.
So that would have been great.
Yes.
But then when he said, oh, I'm sorry, you must have me confused. Did he say like maybe in another life?
Yeah.
Something like that?
He said maybe
he did say something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Oh my goodness gracious, he was adorable. I mean, he's like a kid.
Yeah, I mean, he was her kid. So.
Aww. I didn't look that up. Aww. That is so cute. Okay. So Hulu headlines on Monday. Lulu gets upsetting news. Nathan makes a promise. Sidwell approaches Sonny. Portia and Trina have a heart-to-heart. And Gio confides in Emma. On Tuesday, Jason confronts Carly. Anna gets answers. Nina plays dirty. Curtis is left reeling. Ned tries to reason with Tracy. And Portia reaches out to Ava. On Wednesday, Ronnie's announcement shocks the Quartermains. Britt and Elizabeth face off. Curtis has a tense encounter with Isaiah. Lulu and Dante clash. And Nathan issues a warning. On Thursday, Jason surprises Britt. Tracy drowns her sorrows. Cody seeks legal advice. Sonny voices his regrets. Justine grills Jordan. Oh, now we're going to start using her first name?
Guess so.
And then on Friday, Tracy and Lucy reminisce about Alan. Brennan makes a proposition. Drew suffers a setback. And Britt gets new marching orders. And Laura is dismayed. So where are we starting?
I'm going to let you pick. I feel like I've picked the last few weeks because I've had something I felt strongly about. So now it's your turn.
You want to know the name of all of Tracy's boxes? Yes, you do.
Oh, God.
Alan's diplomas. So some of these are a repeat from last week because we read like 3 or 4 of them, right?
Right.
But there's Alan's diplomas, kitchen utensils, Edward's heirlooms, Lila's study,
Aw.
Christmas, crystal stemware, doilies and dinnerware, relics from the living room, desk ornaments, trophies, medals, and awards, which I don't know how that's only one box. And then Lila's heirlooms, Edward's first editions, bed sheets, and Monica's nurse ball gowns.
Oh, I understand all of those except for the kitchen utensils because Tracy's never cooked a day in her life.
Maybe she just wanted to make sure that she got whatever Lila's flatware was. But I mean, I would have included that with the doilies and dinnerware would be the nice service set.
Right.
Not
kitchen utensils.
Yeah, but hey, maybe she has a favorite potato masher.
She did a way better job than anyone else did of packing up.
Yes.
Michael's there at the last minute, still like, I'm going to grab a few things. Yeah, you should probably get like all your children's belongings since they're not going to be living there tomorrow.
And why aren't they hiring people?
Right. They said Drew just gets everything. He can't literally have everything.
Turnkey includes it includes the furniture. So I guess we can just talk about the house and just that did a lot of the week. So Lulu was upset to learn that, that's when we found the box. That's when I saw the boxes is when Lulu was talking to Nathan, but we'll talk about the house.
Okay.
So, I guess we kind of have to start back to where we picked up or ended last week with Laura overhearing Drew.
Yes.
Talking down to the boys. And Laura is like, no. And then Ronnie tells Laura, well, he's not letting them see their sister. And she asks the boys to leave. And Ronnie doesn't understand how Drew keeps saying that Jason is such a bad seed when he seems to be the one intent on causing trouble. And then Ronnie stands up for Danny and says, like, what a great kid he is, and says that Drew doesn't deserve the house. And Drew tells Ronnie that Laura's against him for political reasons. And she's like, are you kidding me? No. But then Drew leaves. Laura and Ronnie have a one-on-one talk. And Laura tells her a story about how when she was working for Edward, she helped Lila with a tea party, and it ended with Monica and Alan in a fight, and Monica threw a teacup at Alan's head. And Ronnie's like, you were the first person to actually share a story like that about Monica. But she knew that it was true.
Right.
And she was like, she never backed down from a fight. And so then Drew, in the meantime, where did he go?
Was that when he went to the Metro court to meet Nina then?
Maybe.
Because
Or is that when he went to, oh no, because that's when he went to Crimson. Is that when he went to Crimson and saw that Michael was getting Jacinda a job as Nina's assistant because Madison quit?
Yep.
See, Shannon would never have quit. We don't know what happened to Shannon.
Mm-mm. Maybe Shannon worked for a temp agency, so it was just a temp job.
Shannon probably got promoted and is now having her own magazine.
Probably.
She was like, you know what, Nina, you're never here. If you're going to make me do all this stuff, I'm just going to go open my own magazine. Thanks. Guys, if we could get Shannon to have her own magazine, that'd be awesome. She's like, you know what? I'm really not into this fashion stuff, but if you could just give me like a bunch of nerd stuff, that'd be great. I should be working for Lucy, except for not in real estate.
You should be working with Spinelli. He should be publishing a magazine.
Yes. Yes.
A tech
Shannon
magazine.
and Spinelli. I like it.
All right.
Anyway, because he thought that Nina was he called Nina out on, you're trying to help Michael establish an alibi against Willow. And Nina finally said, like what you said, I had to admit that I didn't do it because if we kept saying this, like then eventually it would come out in trial that Willow's lying. And so that just would have been way worse.
Right.
But then we see Martin go to Ronnie, and we were right. He's the one who drugged her. He has been working with her, but she is actually Monica's sister.
Yes.
So we were wrong on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you shouldn't have had me start. Hold on, let me find. Where did I start this morning? Oh, I even wrote, want to bet that Tracy stands up for Ronnie once she finds out that Martin is using her. And I think Tracy did. I think that was Tracy's tirade at her little tangent that she went off on at the end. I think that was actually to help Ronnie because Martin was visiting Ronnie and we found out that he's the one who rewrote Monica's will and then tells her to sell it to Drew. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're the one who drugged me. And he's like, well, yeah. I'm kind of disappointed in Martin on that one. Because then
I was okay. I mean, not okay, but I understood where Martin was coming from before he saw Lulu with Tracy. Once he saw Lulu with Tracy, it should have clicked in his mind like, wait a minute, this isn't just affecting the Quartermains. This is affecting my family too, because Rocco spends time at the Quartermains and Lulu's very close with Tracy. And so maybe this isn't what I should have been doing because his grudge against Tracy really isn't worth all that. Like
it's petty.
Yeah. You can not like someone, but not have their house sold out from under them either.
Right. I feel like we're overdoing it with his revenge. Like it's not matching the crime. You know, it's not
right.
And I don't feel like he's it's not like we saw him come out of prison and be like beat up and, you know, all this stuff. And of course, none of this would have happened if Tracy hadn't just.
Right. You know. She pushed the bar whenever she decided to turn him in for not being truthful about his income for his ex-wives. But I feel like he could have, even if he wanted to have Ronnie sell the house, but not having Ronnie sell the house to Drew. Like it would have upset Tracy to have the house sold even to Michael because she wanted it to be left to her. So that was enough.
But she was expecting Michael. Like everyone was expecting Michael.
Or I guess even just the will saying all she got was some pickle Lila. That was hurtful. Right. Like, there you go.
Right. That would have been a match.
Yeah.
But to have it be this, that you're right. Because like now there's kids involved and they're his family kids. Like, it's going to hurt Laura, and we know how much he loves his sister.
Right.
So, yeah, it really doesn't make sense. But because at the same time, so he went to the Metro Court and met Drew and Sidwell. Ronnie was at Bobby's talking to Gio, and Gio was actually defending Tracy. And he's like, yeah, so she's tough, but kind of saying the same thing that everyone else is. However, if you're hurting her family, she's going to be a lot more vicious than if it's just against her, you know? And then Drew comes in and, Ned and Olivia met with Tracy earlier in the week and were trying to reason with her. And he's like, Edward would be disappointed in you that you're actually that you're not just sucking it up and biting the bullet for the sake of the family, for the house. You know, It's easier to do the Trojan horse thing, like be inside the house and help uncover what's going on with her rather than allowing yourself to be kicked out. So she goes back to the mansion and apologizes. And then that's when Martin and Drew were there and they talk. And she's like, well, I've already said that I would sell the house and all this stuff. And Drew was going off on his, I am so great. My mother's leaving me this house, this whole thing. And you can see the look on Ronnie's face is like every single time he says, like, this house is mine now, all that stuff. Like she kind of like had she kept having a reaction to the things that he was saying. And Tracy clocked it. And then she tore her apart and was like, you said that you wanted a relationship with Monica and you're doing the exact opposite thing that Monica would have wanted you to do. And didn't she say, like, you have shamed Monica or something like that? And that's when she left. But then you cannot buy a house in one day just because you have cash. You still have to do a title search, even though okay, they said at some point this week that Alan built the house for Monica. He did not build it for her. He bought it for her.
He bought it
because there was that thing about the previous owners at some point, like it was in the 80s, right? Like there was something about previous owners. But anyway, I mean, it's like a small whatever. But you still have to do a title search. You still have to do all the paperwork. They are faster because you do have a right to still get an appraisal done with cash because you want to make sure that you're not spending more cash than you need to. But even just the simple paperwork, it's not that simple.
I would assume, I remember being around whenever Ryan bought this house. There's lots of signatures that didn't just have to do with financial signatures. They had one line. Martin's like, sign your name on that one line and it's a done deal. I'm like, I don't think I've ever signed a contract that there's only one line that you have to sign. It's not initial here, initial there.
Well, so the seller does have less to sign because they just have to sign over the deed and they have to sign the final closing disclosure, which is like the numbers. And it says this is the financial numbers breakdown of what happened in this sale that they have to sign. But the buyer, so like the reason that Ryan had to sign so many things is because a big chunk of that is his mortgage paperwork. That is most of the paperwork is related to the mortgage. So yes, even cash, there's a lot less paperwork. But it is not done
just one signature.
It's not one signature. It's not done in a day. No, you can have closings at the house, though. I have done that. So hooray for one small, slightly accurate thing. But no. I did like Cody calling over Molly and asking her advice to see if she's in real estate law or like if she knows anything about real estate law. And she's like, I don't know anything. And as soon as she heard that it was Drew, oh, that's right. Because that's when he came to the house when they were there. Mm-hmm. And she said that she's going to find, but she got all cute and casual for him.
She did. And he was like, is today like casual day at work? And she was like, oh no, I went home and like cleaned up some before I came over. And then Drew gets all defensive and is like, why are you even here? I've already decided I'm buying this house. And she's like, I'm just having a conversation. And he goes right to threatening like he always does. Well, you better not be trying to cause too much trouble or else you won't be seeing, I can put those restraining orders right back in place or whatever. And if it's like, you don't have to be a bully all the time. Just because you have something over someone's head, you don't have to bring it up every time that you talk to them. Like they know it's okay.
Right. It's absolutely ridiculous having, and Drew does not have we've talked about this. Drew does not have the power that he thinks he does. He thinks just because he's in this elected congressman that suddenly he gets to make all the rules and just throw everybody out of where they live and just take over everything. And Martin had just like ruined his life doing this. He was so much better off without letting Drew blackmail him. Yeah. It's because he's not going to be able to come back from this. He forged Monica's will. Laura is seriously going to be so mad at him. Mm-hmm. But then we also saw, so Lulu took Tracy to the brown dog to kind of vent about everything, and Drew comes in.
Right.
And that's when he was saying it's turnkey and I expect like everything to be there and like the furniture, and I'm going to sit at the head of the dining room table in Edward's chair, or maybe I'll burn it all. And then you see his cane get kicked out from underneath him, and it was Jason, and that was awesome.
That was awesome. He just kindly escorts him out, like, leave them alone. They don't need to listen to your crap.
But then Jason feels so guilty for not doing what Monica would have wanted.
I mean, I see where he's coming from, but he's right. He thinks that Monica left the house to her sister, so he needs to respect that. If the sister is making the wrong choice, that's on the sister.
Right.
So, I don't know. I feel like I'm sure that a lot of other people were with me, of everyone just spent the week yelling at Tracy to keep looking in the box, because it was fairly early on that you saw the paperwork that said Monica's will. I guess it didn't focus in saying Monica's will, I think, until like Thursday, but it was kind of this idea of, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And so every time she would stand up or walk past the box, it was like, just look in there again, please, come on. And I'm so tired of Drew walking around telling everyone how this is going to be his house and being nasty. I want to see her find that paperwork and throw it in his face.
I was expecting the back of Alan's diploma to pop off and have something behind the picture that perhaps Monica left a note saying, and perhaps it would be her will, you know, and have that be found. But I mean, they could still argue that that was the old will and we need a new one.
Depend on the date. So do you think that Ronnie's going to not sign because she hadn't signed yet? Like, it was her turn. Do you think Ronnie's going to not sign because she just went off on Drew for him being so mean to Michael? Because he walked in and was like, I don't know why Michael would be there though. Like, I didn't understand that. I understand him going to Ronnie and making one last plea of, listen, I'll give you more money, and if you're not about the money, then there's something going on, so tell me what's going on, right, and I'll help you. But as far as him being there to watch it being signed over, no, I don't think that Monica would want you suffering watching that, and it would be very hard not to lose your cool. But Drew,
I think he was waiting until it was done. I think that for him, he didn't want to leave any opportunity because what if he had left and she had that one moment of hesitation where she's like, oh, maybe I should call Michael. She's not going to just pick up her phone and do it. But if he's in the room, she could look at him, and because I don't feel like he was trying to intimidate her, but I think that he really was just like waiting, like, okay, it's going to hit her. It's going to hit her. You know, she's not going to do this, and I need to be here for that.
I guess that makes sense, because he was spot on as far as, you know, you keep asking about Monica, you keep wanting to hear stories. So this is not lining up of how you feel about your sister and want to know about her life. And now you're going to sell the house to the one person that she hated the most. She wouldn't even let him on the property. This makes no sense. But I
loved him sharing the stories of how she would walk.
Yes.
And how much she loved the lake and how she would wake up every morning and watch the sunrise over it. Oh,
yes.
Very beautiful.
Sweet. So then Drew says to him, like, oh, I'm so glad that you're here, because I wanted to see the look on your face as you watched me take over this house and know that I'm going to raise your children here with Willow. And so then Ronnie steps in and is like, okay, you don't need to rub it in his face. Like, you're just being ridiculous now. And you can see her struggling as they're handing her the pen. So do you think that she's going to stand up and go against Martin and be like, no, I'm not doing this? Or do you think that Tracy's going to run in with the will and be like, nope, absolutely not. That's not the true will. Here we go. Like, what's going to stop the sale? Because he can't actually buy it.
I'm going to say Ronnie is not going to sign, and as they're fighting, Tracy comes in.
Okay, that's what I think.
Because time-wise, that gives us a longer time frame to work with, because Tracy's not that quick. She's not booking it from Lulu's. No adrenaline in the world is going to get her to run from Lulu's into that house in 5 seconds.
Right. No, I don't know how far the drive is from one to the other, but I'm hoping that that's the way that they do it, because
unless Tracy gets smart and takes pictures and texts them to Michael.
Oh, there we go. We forget about technology,
guys. We don't always need that. We don't always need.
That's funny. I absolutely did forget about technology there for a minute. I want it to be that Ronnie stops the sale herself, though, because I know the character is probably not long term, but I want her to leave in a way that she could come back if they wanted her to continue getting the history. And if she signs the house away, then everyone's going to hate her and she's never going to come back. So if she stands up for them, then that leaves an opening for, even if she just wants to come back, Christmas time or Monica's birthday or whatever, I would like that.
So do you think she's going to take Martin down, though?
I don't know. I feel like she'll react however Martin reacts. If he allows her to just say no because he doesn't want his side exposed, because he said to her, you can't go against what I said because that would expose you, but obviously it would expose him then too. So he's kind of, stuck there. Is he going to cut off his own nose just to spite his face? Like, you're going to get yourself in some major trouble for rewriting a will. I feel like that's how
remember how he's like literally being an ambulance chaser lately, where he was at the hospital looking for clients. This is not going to help business at all.
Right. And I'm sure that there's some type of extra legal thing, like they're going to take your license, suspend your license, something. So you had very limited resources to begin with, and now you're going to sacrifice your license. I don't think so. But I think that
you can't even blame Drew for it, because you're a big boy. You don't have to be blackmailed.
Right.
You have the legal right.
Mm-hmm. And this idea wasn't even Drew's. Like, Drew's a jerk for buying the house, but he doesn't know.
Right. Right. Yep.
That this whole situation, he doesn't know that Ronnie wasn't actually entitled to the house. So, I think
wouldn't that be interesting if he does, though?
Oh, I feel like they can't make him that bad. Everyone already hates him. You can't add another. You can't add that extra shred to it. No, I don't want him to know. And I feel like he wouldn't have gone to her and tried to make an offer himself, because we see that Drew loves to hold things over people's heads. So would he really have passed up the opportunity to say to Martin, well, I know that you're blackmailing her and I'm blackmailing you, so now you have to get me the house? He would have gone that route instead of making her an honest offer first.
Right. That's true.
So, I think if Martin is a jerk to Ronnie, then Ronnie's going to turn around and expose him. But if Martin's just like, oh, okay, then she'll let it go. I don't think she's out to ruin someone's life unless they're trying to ruin hers.
I agree with that, because she even said, what did she say to him about, well, first she yelled at him about, we're not even supposed to be seen together. Mm-hmm. And then I think she said, like, seriously, all I wanted was my necklace, the locket, not. So I want to know why she agreed to all this then.
I'm assuming that he told her some awful things about the rest of the family, especially Tracy, because she already had knowledge from Monica that Tracy was a jerk. So if he
she knew that Monica loved Tracy.
Yeah, but if he went and played up the negative side, then maybe that was enough for her to think, okay, because I don't think originally she was going to sell it. Like, that wasn't the original deal. He didn't say, I want you to take the house so that then you can sell it. He said, I want you to take the house so that Tracy doesn't get it. So maybe the original will did say Tracy, and so he just wanted to step in front of that.
I don't know.
I'm interested. I'm glad that we're finally starting to get some answers, though, because I was confused on why Ronnie would pretend to be something that she wasn't, unless she was like the ex-wife or something like that you had mentioned before.
Yeah, I did kind of like that. And I thought for a second that it was going there when she said something about, like, we can't be seen together or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so they definitely have a history. Like, there's something happening there, but now it's just simply, but there has to be some, I could understand if this were 15, 20 years ago, that maybe Ronnie would have that feeling about
before she reconciled with Monica. Yeah.
But also Monica and Tracy, even when Tracy was driving Monica the most crazy, I feel like it's just like a friendship. There's things that I'm going to confide into you that I wouldn't confide into even another close friend, just because they wouldn't understand. And I don't think that Monica, as dirty as their laundry was and how the town knew all of it, I don't think that she would have written to her sister the horrible things about Tracy. She would have said, my sister-in-law and I don't get along, and she is very stubborn and opinionated and stuff like that. But I don't think that she would have bad-mouthed her. And I think that just based on how we know Ronnie so far, I don't feel like she would necessarily have believed Martin, or at least maybe enough to come to town. But then after seeing how much everybody, although I guess seeing like even Olivia, because she doesn't know that the way that they show love is by very toxically, you know.
Yeah.
But they all kind of backed Ronnie with the Tracy, you're being ridiculous. And so you're right. Maybe like in the back of her head, she's like, oh, maybe Monica was being taken advantage of by Tracy. I don't know. I want to know what's in it for Ronnie.
Yeah. Well,
she obviously didn't want to leave her life.
Right. She keeps just wanting to go back there. She's like, I never wanted a big fancy house and all this stuff. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
Hopefully we'll find out in the next week or so. I hope they don't drag it out too long though, because I want to know.
Right.
So kind of like they're dragging out all this Britt stuff and who's working for who. Like we finally got the connection with Dalton, but now Dalton's trying to cut Sidwell out. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do with the information? Like, how did this even all get started? And he's acting like he could have taken this research by himself without Sidwell. Well, if that's true, then why wouldn't you have done it that way? Like, obviously, Sidwell's providing the finances or the mineral or whatever it is that you need. You can't just do it without him.
Right. There was, because at the beginning of the week, did we see Anna this week? So wait, so not Tracy, sorry. We're off of them now, right? Yes. Sidwell and Martin were meeting by themselves because Sidwell and Marco were meeting. And then Sonny and Sidwell were talking, and Marco and Christina were talking. Like, it was just like a whole thing. And then Christina's like, you seriously need to leave Marco alone. You know, he's working for mom. Mom likes him. And then she told him about Alexis representing Willow. But Christina's like defending Marco. Oh, I remember how last week I said, did we ever do anything with Natalia's death?
Right. And they didn't.
You were like, yeah, they've already just like wrapped it up. No, we never got the vengeance. And Marco was like, all right, so when are we doing this, you know? And Sidwell said soon Sonny will be gone, something like that. Mm-hmm. So then we saw, so they were just like hopping all over the place, because then Sidwell and Sonny were talking. What were they talking about, though?
Wasn't theirs about the Measure C stuff still? Because Sidwell,
that's right,
was talking about how he's working with Drew. I don't know if he actually came out and said it, but he's working with Drew, and that Sonny won't have control for much longer and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But Carly tells Jason how much she hates Brennan, but she needs to keep Joss safe. Mm-hmm. And so then she and Brennan are talking, and we did see Anna. Okay, because Brennan went and told her that she could not go to Steinmauer to talk to Valentine, which makes no sense, because he's like, well, we have all these pieces and there's all these pieces of Phase On, and the only person we can get to put them together would be Valentine, and he'd probably only tell you, but we're not going to allow you to go.
Right. But then he turns around and says, but maybe if we bring him to the States, then you could visit him. Why does it matter where she goes to visit him? And the same thing with Charlotte. He says to Lulu later on, well, if I brought him stateside, would it be okay for Charlotte to visit him? And it's like, I don't understand. Maybe he thinks having them travel so far is a red flag for whoever's watching. That's the only thing I can think of. Why would it matter?
Carly specifically asked, aren't there WSB prisons in the States also? Mm-hmm. I think for Charlotte, it was more of she can't be missing that much school. You know, she's a kid. She can't be doing that. She can't be going to Switzerland once a month to visit her dad. But You're right. Like, what's the issue? Why would Anna be allowed in a WSB prison in the States instead of, and what is Carly's motive behind, oh, you know what? We didn't finish seeing that conversation with her and Valentine. This is all Valentine's idea. This is Valentine.
Yes.
Valentine is driving. We don't know the answers yet. Valentine's driving it. He's telling Carly, you need to get him to get me into the States. Here's how. By Charlotte with Lulu.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe he'll escape. He'll escape.
But why would the security, because it's supposed to be a WSB, like, jail, right? Like, they're in charge of it. So why would their security be less in the U.S. than it is over there?
Right.
It should still be, you know what I mean?
These people are allowed and these people aren't.
Right. Like, your company security should be the same no matter what state you're in.
Right. You would think. Especially, like, if it's a off...
Well, maybe he knows someone in the
prison,
States.
like a hidden prison.
Yeah. Maybe he has a connection in the States that can't work overseas.
And that's how he's going to escape.
That would make sense. I mean, we do see it all the time. Anytime they transport somebody, even just down the road, they get in an accident and the prisoners escape. So maybe there's more traffic accidents in the U.S. than over there.
Yes. Okay. So there's something that Valentine's cooking behind the scenes, that there's a reason why he is having Carly figure out getting him to...
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me that she saw him last week, because I'm like, I don't understand why everyone's pushing to move him to the States, but that does make sense. He's part of this. Okay.
Hey, I just remembered myself as we were talking. This is why we do this.
I feel like this week was just so focused on Drew in the house that everything else you just kind of didn't pay attention to as much because you were waiting to get back to Drew in the house.
Oh, you mean like Portia and Isaiah in the cabin? Or they talk about going to the cabin, and then Trina stops by just to like say hi or something. And because she wanted to talk to Portia about the divorce and wanted to make sure, because that's what you do, is that you go to your parents' work and ask them to please be civil with each other during the divorce. You don't just wait to maybe have dinner with her, or I know she's living in we're not seeing.
Oh yeah, what's going to happen to the tenants?
Yeah, we're not seeing them. Hey, if they have leases, they cannot be broken. The new owner has to honor them. They better have leases.
I hope they do. That's funny. I didn't think of that either.
Yep. No. And you knew exactly where I was going. The second I was like, wait. So maybe she is going to be moving out from above the garage.
Yeah, because they asked about Cody, but he's an employee.
Yeah, because Molly asked Cody about that, but you're right. It was more about, and he's going to make sure that the horses get rehomed. I hope that means that he's going to get Serenity. But I want him to stay.
Yeah, but I don't see Drew having him stay. I don't know.
No. No, but Cody said that he wanted to rehome the horses, like make sure that they got...
Does he get to do that, or is that part of the estate, though?
Oh, I don't think horses are considered turnkey items.
I wouldn't think so either, but I don't know. I mean, they'll write it however they want to anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I have no idea what falls under that. But back to what you were saying with Trina. Yeah, Trina has always been
considered personal property under the law and would not be automatically included in a standard. Well, it says, in a standard transaction, even one described as turnkey. Turnkey means it is move-in ready and includes fixtures and sometimes furnishing and appliances, but it does not typically include livestock or other movable personal assets. Like I tell my clients, house includes, if you flip it upside down and shake it, anything that is stuck to the walls.
There you go.
That is what is automatically included. Anything other than that, we need to strike it out, make sure that it is listed as excluded. And like if you want to include the TV, you have to add that on there. The wall mount has to stay if it's a wall mounted TV, but the TV does not. So the stables have to stay, but the horses don't.
That makes sense. Okay. But anyway, back to Trina, like you were saying, we have seen her. She's very respectful. She knows her place as far as she wouldn't just go to someone's work to have a personal conversation with them and all those things. So I don't know why we're suddenly seeing her barge in to tell Portia something that Portia should already know. You shouldn't really have to tell your parents to be civil with one another. But my bigger problem with all of that was Portia is setting herself up to have a more in-depth conversation with Isaiah than she should have to. If she would stop things with him now, hold off for a few weeks, figure out whose baby this is, although we already told her it's Curtis's, then she would not be hurting Isaiah. If she continues hooking up with him and dating him, he's going to turn to her and say, why did you continue building this relationship when you weren't sure that the baby was mine?
Right.
Like, you owed it to me to tell me that you were pregnant, you didn't know whose it was, and then I get to make the decision if I want to keep dating you, knowing that you may be carrying a baby that's not mine. But don't continue to make me fall for you over the next few weeks whenever I have no idea what this knowledge is. I was happy with Jordan. I mean, it wasn't really her business to tell Curtis, but I liked the fact that she was like, listen, I want a relationship with you, but I can't start a relationship with you because there's this big secret. And I don't know that you really want to start a relationship with me because of this big secret.
Right. Why does she not have a copy of her own home inspection report?
That I don't know.
Seriously? Or even a digital copy?
I don't know. I have
so many questions.
Yeah, because for a minute I thought they were talking about, a report for something else, anything else. And so I was like, okay, that was nice. He brought it over instead of making her wait for her assistant. But why in the world would Curtis have it?
Mm-hmm. And she just wants to check to see if an outlet was mentioned.
Yeah.
Girl, you have lived in that house now for...
Right, it's your problem. It doesn't matter.
But they ordered Noodle Buddha, and we know that those are noodles of love.
Yes.
Because that was Jason and Sam's.
Yep.
She ordered all of his favorite things,
but she just happened to do that. She didn't know that he was coming over.
Right. But Jordan knows how pregnancy works because Curtis was like, but we were only together the one time. And she's like, that's all that it takes.
Right.
Thank you, Jordan, for understanding pregnancy. But, him and Laura talking, though. I love Curtis and Laura.
Yeah. He just laid it all out for her, was like, because she said, we need to schedule a date. She was talking about Ace needing to pick up medicine for Ace because kids are just petri dishes. I was like, yep. And then Curtis got that look, like you could tell he was thinking about the fact that maybe he has a baby on the way. And then she said, we should plan a lunch soon. And he was like, I could really use talking now.
Yep.
So
sweet.
Yeah, I do. I just love them. And she was asking him, like, well, are you going to stay with Portia just because of the baby? And even Portia, I did like that Portia seemed to have a little bit of intelligence during that conversation because he said, I want to wake up with my baby. I want to put my baby to bed. I want to be there. And she said, yeah, but is that really like a reason to stay together if we've already decided we don't want to be together? And I was like, Thank you. Thank you, Portia, for understanding that that's not a reason to stay together. That would just be miserable.
But like we have said a bajillion times by now, and he mentioned again, you kept Trina from me all those years. Like, when were you going to tell me?
Right.
And I just, poor man. It's not even registering with him that she could have slept with someone else.
Right.
And her whole, where were you? In bed with Jordan?
Right.
Oh my God. Like, she is making up so many stories in her head that nobody's calling her out on.
And you were the one who was literally in bed with someone else. It's not like you were sitting at home knitting a baby Afghan while he was out hooking up with somebody else. You were the one in bed with someone else. So even if you've already decided you're getting divorced, he can use that same justification to hook up with whoever he wants. But yeah, I feel bad for Curtis, obviously, but it's Isaiah, as much as I don't really like him, that I feel bad for because she is playing with his emotions by not letting him know that maybe he doesn't want to be with her.
When did Curtis start? Because he just calls him Gannon now.
Yeah.
And like kind of harshly.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that would be after, this guy came to me out of nowhere and told me to start treating my wife better.
Right. I mean, they've had many, not altercations, but conversations about Curtis's wife. And then this week, whenever he's like, do you know where my wife is? Isaiah's like, why would I don't keep tabs on your wife. Well, that's funny because the last 3 times Curtis has been here, you knew exactly where she was.
Right. How about Portia telling Ava, though?
I don't understand that. I didn't understand that. She's like, I need your help because of Trina. Obviously, Trina is going to be affected by the fact if her mom's pregnant or not, but I don't understand what this really has to do with Trina. Trina is an adult, and Curtis and Portia weren't together her entire childhood. It's not like they're celebrating their 20th year of marriage And now they're saying they're getting divorced, and she's going to be like, oh no, the family I've known, they've been married like, what, 2 years?
Right.
I'm sorry, but obviously it would affect your children. Any divorce affects your children, but they are not going to be as affected at 20 some years old about a 2-year marriage ending as they would be if you had been with this man their entire life.
Right.
You already did the damage by letting her know that who raised her, who you did have that relationship with, wasn't actually her dad. So I'm just tired. I'm so tired of hearing Portia talk about all the things she's doing for her daughter. Your daughter doesn't need this protection. She's not a little girl. And when she's not forgetting her manners and busting into your office to talk about things that shouldn't be discussed at work, she's actually a high functioning young adult. Like, she's got her stuff together.
Did she bust in though?
I mean, she didn't bust in because Portia had time to grab a medical file to make it look like they were talking about a case instead of just making out. But
right.
I do think that it should have been a text. Hey, Mom, over dinner tonight, can we talk?
Right. I don't know.
And I don't want Trina to be the one to figure out that her and Isaiah are hooking up, because that's going to make
it is. You know that
guilty.
It is.
No, I don't want that to happen. I just said no.
Well, you know what's happening.
I just said no. I don't want her to be put in that position, because then she's going to feel guilty and bad. And she already kind of crossed a weird line by going to talk to Jordan about, hey, can you not break up my parents' marriage? Now she's going to be the one that has to tell Curtis, by the way, that baby might not be yours because Mom's been hooking up with somebody else.
Yep.
No.
Or Jordan's going to find. Jordan doesn't know that Isaiah is an option.
But I think that if Jordan says that, it's going to put a big rift in her relationship with Curtis.
I don't think she's going to care, though, because the reason that their marriage fell apart was because she kept that secret.
I'm not saying that she's going to care because now she's overly honest, but I hope for her sake that she's not the one that finds out, because I don't think they'll be able to come back from that. Because then even though she's doing it for Curtis's best interest, it still looks petty, like you're trying to be a jerk about the ex-wife.
Yeah.
So I'd also like to point out that at one point in time, Curtis had this job called a detective. So you would think that
he had his own business. It wasn't even a job. He had his own business.
Yeah, so maybe he could use some of those skills to figure out what his wife's been up to, so we don't have to put Trina or Jordan in that position.
Yeah.
So, but I hate Portia, so enough about her.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm annoyed.
If
she dies during childbirth, that would be okay, and then we wind up finding out who the dad is.
There you go.
That's how it's going to happen.
That's not nice.
Sorry, Brooke Kerr. Like her, they've made the character insufferable.
Right. You could kill her off during childbirth and then have her long-lost twin sister that we didn't know existed show up to take care of the kid.
Yes.
And then she could be a good character. Okay.
Yes. Redo.
There was like a Facebook, like one of those like games or whatever, where they tell you whatever month you're in correlates with whatever. And so this one said whatever month you were born in, these are the GH characters that you're handing out Halloween candy with. And mine was Portia and Curtis. And I was like, no.
I will just
I'll hang out with Curtis all day, but Portia, she needs to take somebody trick-or-treating because I can't talk to her for that.
No, that would not be fun.
So trying to think where to go from there. Oh, back to Nina. So we saw the whole, she was trying to pay off Jacinda to be not his alibi or whatever. And then we saw them down in the Metro court, her talking to Drew. I like that she was smarter than Drew. Not that that's hard, but he says, I'm going to go to the police and tell them that it was Michael who shot me. And she's like, oh, do you remember who shot you? And he's like, no, I have no idea, but that's what I'm going to tell them. And she's like, okay, Captain Obvious, except for even the police are going to say, wow, that's convenient that the person that you hate is who you remember shooting you while your fiance is on trial for your murder. And he was like, yeah, that's what Martin said too. But she's like, exactly, because it's stupid. You can't do that.
No, that was good.
I just loved her whole attitude with him. Like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Oh, we did see Michael talking about Abby.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought that was really nice because Jacinda, they're actually going to wind up being together.
Yeah.
And they're cute. They are cute.
Yep.
Because, and it's just going to be like Pretty Woman.
I liked
how she said something about like her profession. And he's like, yeah. So, like he said the first woman I loved.
Yes.
Also was in your line of work. And she taught me. And I think that because he very kindly said it in a way that let her know that he actually did understand where she was coming from, but also that's not how he sees her.
Right.
Just don't go walking through construction sites.
He did not tell her that.
No, he did not. But Sonny told him that his intensity, like his attitude,
I loved that
calm down a little bit.
Yes, Michael took it like so offensively. Again, Sonny was just speaking the truth about Willow's past versus Michael's past. And Michael was like, I knew that other people might view me like that, but I didn't know my own dad would. And I was like, Sonny didn't say that's how he views you. And he didn't say it nasty. He was pointing out the obvious. Like, maybe you need to go talk to Nina and Drew too. You're missing the obvious that people are going to question. Right. And then when he said it, he got all upset. And Sonny was like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Your tone of voice is not going to go well to the jury whenever you're in court. But he did do really well whenever Drew came up and was being a jerk. So I have faith that he could keep his calm in the courtroom.
Yes, he was practicing.
Yeah, and he does stay relatively calm when he's talking to Willow, too, because she can be super annoying, and he doesn't yell at her as often as I would like to yell at Willow. So
right.
I hope I'm never on trial for anything, because I don't think I can sit there all cool and calm. That person's clearly an idiot. That's not what happened. Oh. What else?
We don't have to get into it, but when Tracy and Lucy were going through the boxes and just sharing stories about Alan, and that was awesome.
I like when they show Tracy or Lucy in that light, because we just talked about how insensitive Lucy has been every time that we've seen her for the past few weeks, where she's like, do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house? And so it was nice to see her on the other side, like, hey, I'm here to sell you a house because I will totally take advantage of this situation. But at the same time, yeah, we could talk about some Quartermain stuff because I remember those same people. And so that was sweet.
Yeah. And I mean, Tracy doesn't really have an adult to talk about Alan with,
right.
Ned's an adult, but that's his uncle.
Yeah. Right. No one else Tracy's was around for that time. Yeah. So,
yeah. And like Olivia will listen. She'll listen to the stories all day.
Right.
But she's not going to have her own.
Yeah. So
she should have, because they should have never killed him off. But there's that.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, I hope nothing bad happens to Gio or Emma. So we see them at Kelly's, and
yes.
He talks about how he was glad that he went to go talk to Lois because he went for Sonny to be respectful of Sonny, but it is making it clear that Brooklyn really didn't know and that she was just trying to do what was best for her baby. And she's like, does that mean you're going to have a relationship with Brooklyn now? And he was like, I don't know what that means, but at least I know that Brooklyn didn't just ignore me all those years knowing I was her kid. And also no one's going to replace my mom that raised me. And then they start talking about Dalton, and she says that she needs to get in to the lab to see the animals so that she can expose him. And he says, well, I'll be happy to back you up. And she says, no, because you'll get emotional whenever you see me being all flirty with Dalton. So I don't want you to be part of that. And then later we see her walk into Dalton's office and see Britt there. And she's like, what's the Britch doing here? And so I just really hope that she doesn't get caught in the lab or she doesn't need help and then Gio go, because Sidwell's not someone to mess with.
Well, because Rocco and Danny are also getting involved in Charlotte.
Yes.
Like they're all getting involved in taking Dalton down.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of surprised that Emma and Gio are letting them be involved.
Me too. Because I know they're not so much younger, but they're younger. They're still in high school.
Right. They're still in high school. So.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they'd probably also be the, I guess, least suspected, maybe, is how they could be looking at that.
I guess so, but I feel like she could have gone back to Joss since she doesn't know that Joss is WSB and been like, the least you can do is help me with this since you messed up my original chances of getting in here. And you're also a college student. And although Dalton, I'm sure, is disappointed that you abandoned the project, you had what he thinks is a good reason. So I need you to help facilitate whatever it is, for me to be able to get into the office. Like, maybe you can meet with him about a paper that you wrote so I know that I have time to sneak into the facility without him coming to see me or whatever. Instead of recruiting, like, what are the kids going to say to him?
Right.
Like, talk to us about a class that we could take in 2 years? I don't think so.
Right. I don't know. But Jason co-signed the loan for the car with Britt. And
they never said what kind of car. I wanted to see it.
And Nathan tells her about the issue that Rocco apparently lied to his parents about having dinner with them. And he's like, yeah, the issue was not having dinner with me and Mom. Like, it was you being there too. And he really kind of sided with Lulu. Oh, because he and Lulu had talked earlier in the week. They were continuing that conversation, right? Mm-hmm. But Dante came over. No, I think Lulu and Nathan were done, but Dante had come over. And Dante is trying to grill Rocco, and Charlotte is being a great sister and is trying to help him out. And you can see like Rocco's face. He's like, okay, why don't I just tell them the truth? Like, and Charlotte's kind of doing exactly what Nina just did to Willow.
Yep.
And so Dante's like, hey, so when your mom and Charlotte were in Switzerland and I was working, what'd you do? And he was so obvious. And then he's telling Lulu afterwards, because Lulu was like, dude, you just overkilled. He's like, I'm a detective. I had them right there. I'm like, no, dude, you did not.
Right, exactly. Every parent will tell you that you were so obvious. And that's how Charlotte knew absolutely what to say to cover, because it was apparent what you were going after.
Yep. And I think it was Nathan was saying that he doesn't think that Rocco was trying to be sneaky. Britt was kind of like a last minute addition. It was.
Yes, I'm glad he clarified
was just what
that.
It was.
Yeah.
But then Nathan tells Britt that it is an issue and it's going to get Rocco in trouble. And she's like, oh, so what am I supposed to do if he comes to me? Am I just supposed to turn him away? And Nathan's like, yeah.
Right. It showed Britt's immaturity as far as the fact that she doesn't have any kids, because she made a snide comment also when he was talking about Rocco had lied to his parents. She was like, well, it's not my fault if his parents can't keep track of him. They should do better. And it was like, no. Do you not remember being a teenager? This has nothing to do with bad parenting. This has to do with he lied and she's trying to figure out what to do about it now.
Exactly. Oh, but Laura told Sonny about what Drew did to the boys. And Sonny's like, I'll take care of it. She's like, I handled it. Let it go.
Right.
Because while she was talking to Sonny is when Jordan was talking with Turner, Justine, about Sonny. And she asked Jordan if she thought that Laura covered for Sonny. And Jordan said, I don't think she does, but they have family crossover, and they have a history, but also they share a grandkid. So,
right.
She's not going to go after him. But then she brings up that when Dante was undercover, he got stuff against Sonny that just apparently went away after it was discovered that Dante was Sonny's son.
Yeah.
So are we going to go back to those files now and see what 20 years ago?
I don't know, because I could see where Turner would have that train of thought. But if she listened to what Jordan said it's not only Laura that cares about Sonny. He gives so much money to so many different organizations and, does whatever for different places, that there's other higher ups that also are not going to be all about putting him away, because
right.
the good outweighs the bad in their opinion. And so it's not just take down Laura and now we can take down Sonny. You have a whole list of people who are also protecting Sonny that you don't even know who they are. So is this information from 20 years really going to be able to be brought forward? And even if it does, is it going to hold any weight? And then Sonny texts her. I love that. They're in the same restaurant, and Sonny texts her and is like, hey, can you come over here so I can talk to you? And so they walk out into the hallway, and then they have their, side conversations that no one can see because they're standing over there.
The statute of limitations for money laundering is 5 years.
Okay.
And racketeering is generally 5 years. So it seems like anything that they could possibly be getting him on that they'd be using from Dante is triple passed or double passed, because it's been on like 15, 16 years, something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, none of that should be working.
I mean, we know that murder doesn't have it.
Right. But they're never going to find those bodies.
No, he gets tried for those all the time.
Yeah.
And gets away with it.
Yeah, I think she really needs to realize that there's no way to bring him down.
Yeah. I think that might have been everything.
Kind of thing. Oh, Lulu went to Laura to whine about how she's losing the kids because they lied to her. And I was like, oh my gosh, tone down the drama, please. You're not losing them. They're teenagers. And it's nice that they're sticking up for one another, even when they're doing wrong. Like, that's a good sibling bond.
Right. And Laura suggested, you know how you can get your kids to not lie to you about, them wanting to see, okay, for Charlotte, it's Valentine, the other parent, but Rocco has questions about his birth, his origin, talk to them about it without being nasty, without being a jerk about who that other person is, because that's just going to make your kids not want to talk to you about it. And then they're going to sneak about it. And I hate lying, but you have to be able to be open about having those conversations with the kids.
Right. Right. You're forcing them to feel like they need to lie, which, again, lying is never okay, but they're kids. They don't know how to handle it. Right.
And Lulu's just like, well, I lost so much time with each of them. I don't want to lose any more. You're not going to. If anything, you're going to get a better relationship, because when Rocco finds out, wait, what?
Yeah. If you continue parenting the way that you are, you're going to lose time, because they're going to keep going to those other parents that they think are amazing instead of hanging out with you and hearing the truth.
Exactly. So.
Oh, and we also saw, not parenting, but parenting of Liz saying to Britt, like, how about you do your work whenever you're on work time? And Britt got all snooty and said, I did all my work. Here's my checklist. It's done. And Liz is like, no, actually, you forgot to call these people. So go ahead and finish what you were supposed to be doing.
Yep.
So it's fun watching them interact. And I still don't know what Britt expected people to do. You were dead for 1 million years. You don't have your license right now.
Yeah. And Britt had a little bit of a breakdown over that. So,
yeah. Jason was trying to keep Britt sober, so he got her some lemonade so that they could talk about the Faison stuff. And she was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this, so how about you don't ask me about that right now, and I won't ask you about the Quartermaine drama, and we can just enjoy a drink.
Yes.
So, but I'm interested to see what she will tell him that he can take back to Anna versus what she would tell anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's a good connection there. Yeah, I can't think of anything else other than those little tidbits where it jumped out besides everything. I'm excited next week. I want to see what happens. Like, who says no to the house? Because we cannot give it to Drew.
I feel like it's going to be another week, because Thanksgiving's coming up and we need a Quartermaine Thanksgiving. We need to have the first Thanksgiving without Monica, with the family at the house.
With pizza from the pizza oven.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I agree.
So we need time for that.
Right.
So yeah, let's wrap this up this week, or have it be saved kind of like at the last minute.
Yeah, that would be good too. Okay. I'd be okay with that.
And have Ronnie in on the pizza.
Oh, you mentioned Maxie, that they forgot that it was Maxie's birthday. But they were just saying that Friday was Halloween. So they could continue Monday being Halloween, and maybe someone will bring it up.
Okay.
So I felt like the conversation between Nathan and Lulu was on the day before Halloween, and the conversation with Lulu and Carly and Brennan was absolutely on Halloween. So hopefully they finish up Halloween on Monday and somebody mentions Lulu's birthday. Like the kids should at least be making Maxie's birthdays. The kids should at least be making cards or something.
Oh, that was something else though that now we're seeing Nathan have the feelings of Spinelli's a great dad, but he's not James's father.
Yeah. I don't like that.
I'm not liking that.
No, and I don't feel like he would act on that, even if he is feeling that, until Maxie came back, because that's just too much to put James through.
Right. And I feel like it's completely normal for him to be having these feelings, but he should be more focused on how am I going to fit into his life, not he needs to be with me.
Right. He can't be a Drew and just be like, I'm his dad, so that means I have total control over him.
Especially him knowing what he went through.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. Right. I feel like, we got a lot of good stuff going on right now. So, we'll see where it takes us.
It was a lot.
Reality check.
So, how was your week?
It was good. Nothing too exciting. Yesterday was Halloween.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, that was whatever. Okay, see, that's a problem whenever it happens on Sunday and we record on whatever.
Well, we recorded Friday. That happened Saturday.
That did. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you. That obviously was exciting, but I'll let you talk about that one because it is more your thing. So yesterday was Halloween. So Madeline went trick-or-treating and my son and his girlfriend and Ryan and I walked around with her, and Matt's girlfriend dressed up. Madeline was an angel, so she was a devil. And so they went along and got a whole bunch of candy. So I got to steal my candy tax and eat yummy candy last night afterwards. And then it had also been her birthday on Tuesday. So we celebrated and gave her birthday presents, which one of them was the tea that I had bought with you for our fun adventure on Saturday. Yeah, besides that, it was pretty boring. Like personal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't like win the lottery or go on an exciting vacation or anything. So, but go ahead, tell what our fun was.
So last Saturday we met Rena Sofer.
She was so nice.
So nice.
Like they're all nice. We've not met anyone that's been rude or whatever, but she was instantly like we were best friends and she treated everyone like that. I was very impressed with her. Just kindness to everyone.
Yes. And we are working on scheduling. We're working on scheduling. We'll just put it that way. So that'll be a pinch me moment. That's really kind of sad though, because that was last Saturday and I really didn't do much this week. Had my company's convention on Thursday. That was fun. It was at the casino and we stayed overnight. That was the most time that I've spent in the casino.
Yeah, you gambled so much because you were there for so long.
$5 in a slot machine, walked away with 25 cents. Yep. And that was only because we were early. So
I wondered because you usually walk right through. You've told me many times like, oh, we went to eat, but we just walked straight to the restaurant. I'm like, I don't know how you do that.
Well, no, because we have we typically go to the casino for our awards, which is a lunch. So I just go straight to the room. But this was the first time that I'd actually ever eaten at the casino.
Oh, okay.
But we had stayed overnight in the hotel attached to it. And I got up at like 6 and we went and had breakfast and we were up and at it early and just had a few minutes to kill and $5 cash in my pocket. So I decided I wanted to get rid of it.
There you go.
Hey, it could have gone the other way too. Somebody that we were with did, you don't know them, but he did pretty darn good.
Nice.
He put down 200.
Yeah.
And he was playing a game, like he was playing a table game. But
right.
It was fun. Yeah. Really didn't have anything going on this week.
See, it's not just me. I just can't remember my days. So obviously, meeting her was the highlight of the week because again, she was just so nice. But it feels like that was so long ago because now we're on Saturday of this week.
Yep, it's a week later. And
that's how time works.
It feels like it's been forever, though. So I hear you. Speaking of it's been forever, Join us on Thursday as we get back into Bobby.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
Yes.
So have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.